Amen.
Okay. This is going to be a quick one. Okay, so there's going to be a Guinness record is going to be set this week for the amount of times people are going to talk about Trump. Vayakam Melech Chadash, I'll be part of that chain. I read a report on Friday, someone emailed me that in the workplace, Deloitte & Touche releases a yearly report about what the trends are that people should expect. So besides the fear of robots, the other thing that big trend is transparency in the workplace. And when you read the text, we're talking to this generation, transparency is a really important thing to our Western culture mind. And we want to understand what's happening in the state of Am Yisrael at the time that this new king arises. So I learned growing up, a new king arose, it's a new dynasty in Egypt, they didn't know who Yosef was, they just forgot about it. But years ago, we had someone came here and he sold his book Seforno, so I bought it to actually look at it. And Seforno has a totally different read on the story of the Jews in Mitzrayim. And he says, actually, based on a quote from Yechezkel, it says there that the Jews rebelled against me, they didn't listen to me, and they did not cast away their eyes, the detestable things. They call it Shukusei in him. So if you look at the Sukkim that talks about how quickly the Jews were growing in Egypt, it says, and the words, there's so many words to say that the Jews grew so fast in Mitzrayim, and he says that V'yishratzu is a sheretz, it's a creepy thing, it's not a positive thing. So there's a quote from Seforno. He says, from Brachot in the Gemara, it says, Shiratzim leve'er shachat. They pursue and it has the word shiratzim. They pursue a path that leads to the be'er, leading to the pit. And the only pit that we remember is the pit that Yosef was thrown into. So this short story is that the king didn't know Yosef, means Yosef was the guy who did all these positive things, who was the advisor to the previous kings. He created the laws that made Egypt so rich, and he was a righteous person inside Egypt. But the Jews had left Goshen at this point. They were like Shratzim. They were not following the laws, not the book, but the tradition that they inherited from their family. So he didn't know Yosef as compared to the people who were in Egypt that were Jews. And they were now part of the Egyptian culture. That's why you had Jews fighting Jews when Moshe comes onto the scene. It was a completely different read on the text than I've always grown up with. So, and the connection to the Be'er is, Yosef was not a nice guy when they threw him into the Be'er. And so the question, in terms of a new king, and talk about Trump, is it's up to us to decide, are we going to be the people like Yosef that had a good, not a good thing, but were able to survive in Egypt, or are we going to be the people that depart from our traditions? And that's the question that we are facing now in these troubling times as a new king in America takes over. So you got to make the choice. Rabbi Chanan ben Akasha, Rabbi Tzedek